Construction Executives Live. I'm your host, Jeremy Owens, owner and founder of Three Generations Improvements and U.S. Construction Zone in sunny Northern California. Thinking a lot of you guys trying to dig out snow right now, probably listen to the podcast, using your snowblower. Hopefully things are going good for you guys. I know that when we watch the news, we kind of, I don't know, feel pretty good about our situation out here in California. So thinking about you guys, Happy New Year. Hopefully your holiday season was great. If you're like me, you're looking forward to getting back to a regular rhythm. And that's where we're at. We're in the end of January already. You should have your goals figured out, all that good stuff. But we're going to talk a lot about that today. We are sponsored by the great team at build12.com. Automate your construction business into a revenue generating machine. Check out build12.com. Ask for Les. Tell him I sent you over there. He'll take care of you. We're also sponsored by Builder Pay Pro. BuilderPayPro.com is an app that my buddy Matt and I created. It's the construction payment platform that saves you time, money, and gets you paid fast. Pay 0% credit card fees, accept ACH payments, invoice tool that directly connects to your QuickBooks platform. Visit BuilderPayPro.com and get a demo from me. I'm thinking about today's show. I really wanted this guest for the beginning of the year as we all wrestle with our goals, our resolutions. A lot of us, we're ready to hit the ground running with all of our goals January 1. They may still be around, they may not. So we're going to talk about a couple different tweaks that you can make this year with a goal. Today's show is called One Fear Per Year, a personal growth hack that changes everything. In this episode of In the Zone, I get the opportunity to chat with my friend Janice Burt and discuss her powerful idea of taking one fear per year as a simple but life-changing growth strategy. Inspired by her TEDx talk and personal journey, Janice is going to share how facing fear builds confidence, resilience, and stronger leadership. A practical and motivating conversation for executives ready to step outside their comfort zone and grow personally and professionally. Janice is an inspirational speaker, TV show, podcast host, court certified Spanish interpreter, voiceover artist, actor, yoga instructor, and author. I mean, I don't know. Can we add anything else there? Is there anything else? She has spoken on the TEDx stage twice with topics such as kicking the people-pleasing habit and walking through one fear per year. Her purpose in life is to share hope and encouragement with others through the power of words and messy action. Please help me welcome Janice Burt. Janice, thank you for being here.
Hey, hello, Jeremy. Thank you so much for having me. I just have to say how excited I was when you invited me on here, just knowing your heart and that you're in the construction business and kind of combining those two things. I was like, oh, this is going to be a great conversation. So thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being here. So how did you get to where you're at? I mean, this is, describing what you do, but also describing, what your purpose in life and life goals are. How did you end up where you're at right now?
Well, if I were like in my 20s and you would have asked me, where would you be 30 years from now? I could not have even imagined like what my life is at the moment. Partly because I had it in my mind. I got married really young. I was 20. My ex-husband was 19. And I just saw my life was going to be, married. We had two kids. That was gonna be it, and travel and, do some fun things and stuff like that. Well, as we know, life happens and unexpected things happen. So I ended up going through a divorce. Man, it's probably been 13, 14 years now. And as a codependent people pleaser, that rocked my world. Like, I'm sure everybody has those moments in their life where it just flips on its head and you're like, wait a minute, this is not my life. This is not what I signed up for. This is not what I expected at all. And so in that place of just complete heartbreak and confusion and like, what the heck is this up? this must be up, that's down, just like,
Right.
that kind of thing. I had to make some shifts, and I will say mainly that taking personal responsibility was a huge thing as opposed to blaming, which I will tell
Mm.
you I was really good at.
Mm. Yeah, it's such like human nature too, right? I think it's easier to think that than it is to deal with yourself,
Yeah.
right? So like tell me that transition of divorce, like how long did it take you? Did you take a bunch of time to come to these conclusions? Like because everyone's journey is different there, and I've experienced here too, and it's you can't control it.
Yeah. And I would say it's layers. It
Mhm.
is what, it's like that onion where I initially was like peeling back these little layers of kind of awareness about myself, about the situation. It did not happen all at once. So if anybody's in that really rough time, just know that it does take time, and to kind of um, surrender, I guess is the best word, to the process of life. And the learning, growing process, which is always kind of painful. It's just uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Like you think about the diamond being formed or the butterfly coming out of the cocoon.
Right.
It's challenging. It's gonna feel uh, uncertain and
Right.
uneasy and sad, and you're gonna be mad. And
Mhm.
there's all these stages of grief that we
Yeah.
go through. So it was like, up and down and all around. And but my main thing was really putting one foot in front of the other. Like, what's my next best baby step to healing my emotional wounds? Because I could just tell like something is off in me. It's not stable. Like I felt very almost like that generalized anxiety. So talking about fear, like that was controlling my life. And I
Mm.
really didn't realize how much it was controlling my life until I went into this particular hypnotherapy session that if you
Ah.
want, we'll talk about. But I just also know that during that time, I think I did almost every type of therapy. Just like I do a lot of like things you were reading, the
Yeah.
things that I do, I like figuring out, okay, maybe cognitive behavioral therapy is good for certain things, but you know what? Maybe EMDR is good for other things. Neurofeedback, I did, attachment therapy, hypnotherapy. So I tried a lot of things like that.
Well, let's talk about the hypnotherapy. So, how did you come to that? I mean, obviously you were trying all the things, which is kind of back to your point of you were trying to control it and that you were actively trying to solve this. Like you didn't like this feeling, right? So it was like, I gotta take some responsibility and do and figure this out on your own, which is commendable because that's difficult. A lot of people want the pill, want the quick thing that will like, let's just take this pain away, and really not deal with it necessarily, and hopefully it just kind of goes away. So, how did you end up in hypnotherapy, and what was the result of that bad boy?
Yes. And I know what you mean. Like there were times, I just want to say it, where I felt like I would drown, that uh, because of my emotions, almost like they would overtake me. And I was like, how can I survive this? So I had those moments of just like, this is rough. Heartbreaks are not this simple little easy thing. Oh, just get over it, especially when
Right.
your identity is all attached to the person or the thing. Maybe you play sports and you break your leg and then you can't do that thing you love. Like if your identity is so attached, it can feel devastating to
Right.
like your identity, So anyway, sidebar, but so the hypnotherapy, I'm a little bit of a cheapskate. So I went on to Groupon because I was like, let me see if there's anything I can try
That's
that I
where
don't
cheapskates hang out. That's where they hang out. Groupon.
like.
Okay.
maybe not the best option, but it worked out because I saw this hypnotherapy session. I was like, wow, I haven't heard of this. It sounds a little like scary and odd, but when you're in so much emotional pain, I feel like you will try some things that normally you might be a little bit like, I don't know about that. But I was like,
Absolutely,
I'm gonna try this. So I pay the whatever $30 or whatever it was, and went and saw this lovely woman who had me like did a guided visualization basically. So it gets you in this really calm, this calm state where the brain chatter, like all your thoughts are not as intrusive.
Okay.
You're just, relaxed and rested. And she's guiding me to visualize certain things, right? And so she said, okay, we're going to start at the top. I'm going to count down to 10. You're going to walk down these stairs. At the bottom of the stairs is a door. Can you see it? So I'm like picturing this. Yeah, I could see the stairs. I see the door.
Mhm.
So she's like 10, 9, 8, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You're going down, go deeper, go down. So I'm going down. She's like, okay, you're in front of the door now. Yes, here's the door. Do you see it? Yes. She said, okay, now you're going to open this door. And when you do, you're going to walk into your safe place. So I thought, this is great. I get to walk into my safe place. Beautiful. All right, are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. Okay, open the door. So I open the door and I take a step and she's like, what do you see? And I'm like, darkness. And she said, I was like, pitch black. She goes, what do you feel? And I said, fear. And I start bawling in this
Ooh.
hypnotherapy session. And then I realized at that moment, I'm like, there is no safe place inside of me that exists. It's all fear. And that revelation in and of itself, they talk about blocks that we have, barriers and subconscious stuff that's holding us
Yeah.
back. That was mine.
Wow. Wow. So after this session, like, how did it all kind of unfold in bringing it to your real life, right? So you have this moment, but what happens tomorrow?
Okay, well, she didn't leave me in that space.
Okay.
She's like, there you go. Be happy in your fear. No, she said, okay, here's what I want you to do now.
Okay.
Okay, picture a clear bubble. Can you see it? And I'm like, yeah, I got it. A clear bubble. Take all of the fear, all of the darkness that represents the fear, and I want you to like put it all inside of that bubble. So in your mind's eye, you're still using your imagination.
Okay.
Okay, all of that fear is in this clear bubble. Have you done it? Yes, it's there. She's like, so now it's like this black bubble. It's not clear anymore. She said, now I want you to watch that bubble float away. You're going to release it and watch it as it goes. Okay, I'm watching it smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And she's like, is it gone now? I said, yeah. And she said, now what do you see? And it was this clear, open, blank slate, like an empty white space. And she was like, perfect. Now you can create your safe place. What do you see now? And I got to create. I saw a tree. I saw grass. I saw some like little, stream flowing by. It was peaceful. It was beautiful. There was a blanket under the tree. I created that then to have this safe place inside of me. So on a subconscious level, I had acknowledged the fear, recognized like, dang, my entire life has been controlled by this fear. I have now released it, and now I am the creator of something new. Whatever I want to put in that safe place, I could put.
Awesome. My safe place is a lot like the Unhappy Gilmore. It's similar. So that's interesting. So that was kind of like your pivotal moment, right? Where it's like, okay, so you created this safe place, and then did you kind of develop this one fear per year right then after, or did that still have take time to develop?
No, it was right after that. I thought, okay, now I need to create something different in my life. I need to show up in a different way. And if fear has been holding me back,
Yeah.
well, what do I do about that? I can't ignore it anymore. Now I'm
Mm,
aware of it.
right.
So, it's one of those things that I said, what if I did one thing every year? Because when you start breaking free from fear, it can feel super daunting. It's like, oh my gosh, I have to do, like, there's all these fears: fear of failure, fear of
Sure.
judgment. A lot of mine were around social. What are people going to think? I don't want to let people down. I want to
Same
be
with
husband.
divorce, right? All those things are the same with divorce.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that had kind of opened my eyes to, man, people are already kind of disapproving or not liking the fact that I'm divorced. So that's already
Right.
like a stab in
Right.
the heart. I'm not like the good girl anymore that has her shit together. And
Mhm. Yeah.
so it started peeling back that layer.
Okay. That's interesting. So kind of it's so many ways you can go after this, but so did that so after you created this one fear per year, I mean, we will the old adage of every good thing's on the other side of fear, all those things kind of coming true for you, right? What was the first one you picked? Because in that moment, you're like, okay, I got to get over this. Did you pick one at that moment to try to overcome?
The very first one, yes, it didn't start off as the marathon. The first one was to do a half marathon,
Okay.
uh, because I would watch people run and think, what insanity is this? Like, how are people running for that distance? And so many people, because I would run and get that side cramp and just
Yeah.
feel, like, how is it done? I felt like it was impossible, honestly. I was like, but obviously it's not, because tons of people do it.
Right.
So
Right.
that was the disconnect. I'm like, it's something with you. If all these people are doing it, and people who are older than you, maybe more out of shape than you, whatever, like, what is
Mhm.
it that's making you feel like it's impossible?
Right.
So I joined a training group, which is key. I will say, if anybody wants to join me on this one fear per year journey and just really start
Yeah.
walking through fear, do it with people. That has been the main thing for me, is always finding a group, or one person or a mentor or a coach, whatever.
Yeah.
But that helped me so much to train for it, obviously, because you got to
Right.
train. So you set the goal, then you kind of reverse engineer, what is it going to take to get there.
Right.
But they made it easy in the training group because they have their whole thing
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
Do X, Y, and Z. You're gonna make it. Yeah.
Yeah. Have
Yeah.
you run a
I
thing
run
like
a
that?
marathon.
Yeah.
That was a one and done for me.
Same.
Yeah, one and done. One and done.
Same. So
Yeah.
I did the half. And then, because I had already joined this group and they were staying together to continue training for the full marathon, the
Okay.
CIM,
Yeah.
I was like, it's a once in a lifetime. I've already been training. I already am in the group. Why not just go for it? I'm just going to keep training and I'm going to do the marathon. And so, yeah, I think it was 3 months after the half marathon, I did the full. And then I was like, yeah, and I'm good. That's good. We're going to leave it there.
Yeah, let's try something new. Great. So when did the TEDx thing come up? What was that like after you've done it a few years, or how many fears did you overcome before you started kind of developing a talk that you wanted to share with others?
Well, the first step in that, and public speaking was a really big fear. Obviously, not so much public speaking, but the fear of criticism, the fear of
Failure.
judgment, failure, forgetting my
Yeah.
lines. Because I had an experience when I was a teenager where that happened and I
Mm,
lost a contest. And those things get so deeply embedded in our subconscious. so that if we don't deal with stuff that happened in our youth, it follows us. It is in us until we're able to be like, oh, this thing happened. I haven't processed it. Now I'm going to start processing it.
Yeah.
So what the heck was I just talking about? I totally lost my train of thought.
The TEDx. So we're trying to get to how you got to that.
Yes. So terrified of public speaking. So I joined Toastmasters first. Which, have you heard of Toastmasters?
Oh, of course. Yeah, my dad was big on that too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever done it?
I have not. It's probably a fear.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a great idea, especially if you are going to be doing public speaking, because it's like it's almost guaranteed you overcome that fear, right? I mean, it's like just repetition.
It's so helpful, I will say, and to find a group that is safe and everybody's there to encourage you, just to get, improve, and here's some tips, and it's great for leadership development also. So it's not just a public speaking thing,
right?
Because you evaluate other people's talks, and you have to do impromptu, which, by the way, that for me, terrifying at the beginning. Like the thought of doing an interview like this, where it's like, maybe I don't know the next question, and what if I get it wrong, and I'm not, it was so much anxiety around that. And so Toastmasters helped a whole lot. But because I knew my fear had to do specifically with speech contests, because that's where, when I was a teenager, I had that failure that I carried with me for years. I signed up for several contests, and I think I've signed up for maybe 4 or 5 throughout this last decade. And I lost, and I lost, and I lost, but to me, it's all walking through fear. So it's a game. It's a game. Yeah. I'm doing it. But the cool thing was, in 2023, so just 2 years ago or so, I was like, I'm going to do one more speech contest, and then I'm out. Like, I don't need to do any more contests. I've done this fear enough.
Marathon of contests.
Come on. Exactly. I'm like, I think I'm going to be good. So I do the contest, and I end up winning. And the prize, I couldn't believe it, was the best thing I ever could have imagined. It was a trip to Kenya to speak at schools and universities over there to encourage the children in Kenya. And it was such a life-changing, eye-opening, beautiful experience to go there and stand on a stage in front of thousands, I kid you not, thousands of teenagers, young adults, because we did both schools, like elementary and college. But I will say, I felt like I gave nothing to them, and they gave everything to me. Like the beauty of that culture. You think with such few resources, I did have kind of this prejudice that they would be unhappy or just sluggish, or, like you're not feeling the best because you don't have a whole lot. They were some of the happiest people that I have ever met in my whole life. So it was just like this extraordinary experience, all from walking through that fear of, I'm going to do a speech contest, and it doesn't matter the outcome, but how cool to be able to actually win one, and win one with such a beautiful prize, at the end.
Yeah. Have you seen that movie, Yes Man, with Jim Carrey? You need to watch. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it, because it's basically him saying yes to everything because he was such a no person before. But in that process of saying yes, it just turned into so many great blessings that kind of that he would never have been if he wouldn't have said yes to. And so it was just kind of like that, where it's like you say yes to that and you don't know what's coming next. And like that's the beauty part, is that you need to say yes to get to it.
Absolutely. And not take it so personally or to heart, when you don't get the win. It's, and that's what I've loved about the mindset shift for me about walking through fear as the goal.
Mm,
It's not, I'm doing a speech contest because my goal is to win.
I see.
I'm doing a speech contest because my goal is to become a courageous person. Like, and courage is simply walking through fear, doing the thing that scares you.
Right. So the TEDx talk, I mean, obviously that had to have been some fear. I mean, you've obviously developed your speaking skills, Toastmasters, all these competitions, but how was that event? I mean, I was there, by the way, and you were the best. I liked your speech the best. But that was a great event and that was a great talk. And you were so comfortable. There was not a nervous sense about you. So like, how did you handle that?
Well, that is so interesting because I will say I have spoken before and recently, actually, recently, a couple of years ago, where I have shaken so badly on a stage, like shaking. It's almost that animal part when animals get scared in the
Right.
wild and they literally shake. That's your nervous system. That has happened to me in the last like 2 years on a stage so badly. I was shaking so badly in front of, mind you, CEOs, professional speakers. I mean, amazing human beings, that I actually had to fall to my knees and speak from my knees because
Mm.
it was such a visceral, um, nervous system kind of response. But on my knees, I was able to say, nothing is worse than living your life in a prison of fear. Like nothing, not even this. It's nothing's worse. So,
Mm.
yes, the TEDx talk went well and I didn't shake and I was solid.
Yep.
I will attribute that to the amazing TEDx community that supported us, whom you know a ton of, they're
Yes.
your friends.
Yes.
They were there for us in such a way, and we practiced together, some of the participants, the other speakers, and I. So I practiced that speech more than I have anything else ever. And there is something to be said for practicing and rehearsing and getting it so embodied
Yeah. And
that you're
Jen's good
able
at
to,
Jen. Shout out to Jen,
yeah.
Christina, Matt Lochran. Those are people that can, I don't know, bring out the best in you. Like that was really cool. I mean, Jen's got a whole thing. That this is her thing, right? Is developing good speakers. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's nice to have that in your hip pocket to make sure you were able to perform the best you could, right?
It really was. And it does those steps of courage, because I had a lot of fear standing up there, they do result in more confidence for the next time and the
Mm.
next time.
Mm.
And even me falling to my knees, that also was
That's a
this,
powerful moment. That's a right? And then
yeah,
what you said during that moment was perfect, right? If you would have like caved to the fear, it would have been like that would have hurt the talk. But instead, you making a point of like you can't let it control you. Like you visually saying, "I'm doing it.
yep.
Bitch, what are you gonna do?" You know what I mean? Like just that's I mean pretty powerful. I mean maybe that was a God thing. Maybe that was like you need to hit your knees right now.
I'm so glad you said that because it felt very spiritual. It
Yeah.
felt like, you know what, with human eyes, this would have been a complete loss and a failure. But with divine eyes,
Yeah.
if you see it a different way, I was like, I was just a vessel and
Mm.
there was no ego at that point. Like you
Yeah.
can't salvage, you can't salvage ego in that moment. You're just like, I'm on my knees. What do you want from me?
Right, 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 right. No, I mean that's great. That's what I would have been seeing in that moment. Is like, wow, this is somebody else kind of using her and this talk and this body to prove a point.
And we all want encouragement. Like, we want to see each other in the other person, and to be someone you can relate to and go, man, I feel that same amount of fear, and it feels terrifying. And yes, if she can do it, if this person can do that, if whatever, then there's hope for me as well.
Yeah, totally. So out of this, obviously there's always fruits of going through this fear thing. How did it transform some of your relationships? Tell me about relationships, career, and most importantly, self. You can't get a good relationship if you're not cool with yourself first, like full stop, right?
Yes. And I will say, with the codependent people pleaser parts of me,
Yeah.
that has been a journey and continues to be. I mean, we're on this journey. I say, if anybody's like, I've arrived, run far away from
Totally. Right.
like, I'm in the trenches. I'm in the process of doing that. When I say doing that, it's like of eradicating as much as I can this need for approval, for validation from outside sources, no matter who that be.
Right.
I don't care what your title is, or how much money you have, the power that you might have, almost also being able to see it through different eyes that way.
Right.
And really focusing on myself in the sense of my own self development.
Right.
If there's a little bit of hate in my heart, jealousy in my heart, which has been a big struggle for me, insecurity in my heart, then that's what I need to focus on,
Right.
not like, oh, pointing fingers and this
Right.
person. And trust me, I've been a pro at that. So I get how good that feels, and like
Right.
how justified we can feel in doing that.
Right.
But it gets us nowhere, us personally.
Right. Right. So obviously you were able to kind of crack away at yourself, and then did you end up meeting somebody? Hint, hint. Did you like?
Well, here's what's funny about that. So I go through a divorce. I had dated a little bit, and then I realized I'm kind of attracting similar people. So that must be me. Again, instead of like, oh, why are these people so emotionally unavailable, or,
Right.
things like that. Oh, maybe that's in me. So let me not date for,
Yes.
I think I said a year
Yeah.
in my mind. And then I joined Toastmasters, started doing that, and I met this character, Lewis. And we just hit it off. He's a great communicator, great guy to talk to. He has his own physical challenges. I have my emotional challenges. And we just connected in a way where I felt like, oh, I could talk about some of this stuff. And so we took it very slowly. He was on dialysis at the time, so that was another factor. But
yeah,
we just, I didn't quite last the whole year. I think it was 9 months. So I broke my own promise to myself, which I say, don't ever. I know, Jeremy. I think about it too. I'm like, come on, Janice, so close. But yeah, we started dating, and that's been, man, like 12 years ago now.
Wow.
So it's a process of me talking about truly what my thoughts and my feelings are without censoring, being able to be very open and honest with him, and also setting boundaries is huge for people pleasers. I'm sure any people pleaser out there knows it's hard to kind of set boundaries. Like, no, this is what I need. This is what I want my life to look like, and my relationship to look like. And hey, you got to take care of yourself just in the same way I have to take care of myself. And then when two healthy people, when I say healthy, I mean physically, mentally, spiritually, and it's always a work in progress, but like that you're working on yourself,
Yeah.
then you come together, and then that's a beautiful relationship because you sharpen each other, call each other out, you can strengthen
Right.
certain things. Yeah.
So huge. It's that accountability thing, but I love what you said there about, we're not arrived, and if someone feels that they are, then that's going to be a difficult relationship, especially someone who's on a journey of improvement. Like that's not a good combo, right? So that's great. I mean, I wanted to get back a little bit to the people pleasing and talk a little bit about, we chatted a little bit about the subconscious mind, and that I was kind of mentioning that I'm in a mastermind group when we talked about it. We're all walking around basically living 95% of our subconscious is controlling our lives, and we don't know that. And then if we don't chip away at that, then we're basically just kind of going to succumb to fears, self-talk, negativity, what our parents told us, what our childhood told us. So tell me a little bit about that journey with you.
Oh my gosh, I had the worst soundtrack in my head.
Oh,
I
really?
mean, it's funny. I gave a speech once and I talked about how it's like the voice of Darth Vader on one hand, like, just the worst things you could possibly say about yourself to yourself.
Yeah.
And then realizing that's the very first step, is just that awareness of like, holy crap, I just said I'm a total loser to myself. Or you look in the mirror and you're like, this mess, like, what is happening with this mess?
So funny, but like, yeah, the first step is like, hey, I didn't realize I did that 20 times a day.
Exactly. And you have the awareness of like, dang, Darth Vader is like on one shoulder. And so then I would talk about, hey, why not choose the voice of the cute little green pokey-eared, creature Yoda instead, who was like the voice of truth and reason and love, and that also is a journey, because if it's so deeply ingrained and it's in our subconscious that I'm not enough, whatever that is. For each person, it's a little bit different depending on your background, and but it's either I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty or handsome enough, I'm not valuable enough for someone to love me.
Right.
All these, and those are all subconscious beliefs that get instilled in us when we're young. And if we don't do the work, the personal development work, they stay there.
It's just the craziest thing to me. I mean, this is new to me. Like, I just learned this year. So like, I was like, wait, what? So like, it's crazy that it's not common knowledge. But I was lucky in that I had great upbringing, and I felt like I had pretty good self-talk ish, but still realizing that there's these paradigms that I have from just comments of my childhood, be tough, or don't cry, or, the things that boys get, those are just everyday things, especially in our generation, like that you have all these things that you didn't know that kind of created you.
Well, and in your industry.
Oh God.
I mean, like, I would love to hear, if you don't mind. I know that I don't want to switch the interview around, but like, what have you learned in that mastermind? Like, what's been a little bit of that aha moment? Because I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like you said, you have to do the work, and it's about basically a 30-minute a day program that you get to do, and it's like rewiring your brain. It's I am statements, it's goal statements, it's trying to weed out those things that were a negative for you, and you turn it into a positive. Like, instead of I am not, I am that, and you just got to say it over and over and over again. And then you realize, and then also gratitude. I'm a year into a gratitude journal, and that's you know, I'm sure there's a lot of construction people listening going like, look at this guy, this guy,
This guy.
this guy. But it changes the way you feel about all the things you have around you. You think about those kids in Kenya who are people in Kenya that are happy. I don't know, we're in Folsom and most people don't seem happy. And it's like, so it's like you can be grateful for waking up or having a roof over your head or the blue sky. It doesn't have to be things or money, or it's just the everyday blessings we have. And once
Oh,
you kind of retrain your brain to be like, man, they're all around me, dude. Like, then you're just happy. You're just like, my kids are healthy. Like, maybe that may be the number one thing. Like, okay, that's pretty much all I need.
totally. Yeah, that was an amazing experience. Just they didn't even have water super accessible, you
Right.
know. It really is the like we're walking to the well to get water. And by the way, it's dangerous sometimes to walk to the well. Like you might die on the way. I mean, crazy stuff that we just first world country freaking
Yeah.
problems over here. And so that's why I am huge. I'm actually leaving to Egypt next week.
Mm.
And I'm huge on travel if you can, especially, I mean, if you have the resources here
Yeah.
and you've only been in the United States your entire life,
Right.
like go somewhere where life is done differently.
Right.
It's so eye-opening. I mean, I lived in Mexico City as a kid, and I think that gave me, man, it's one of the best gifts my parents ever gave me
Yeah.
was to raise me in Mexico City because I saw a different culture. I
Mm.
lived it. I felt, you know, like I belonged almost to that culture and people
Right.
group. And they just are more community based. It's more family oriented. It's just different.
Yeah. Yeah. You're a little bit more well-rounded that way. So tell me a little bit about what was your favorite fear you overcame? I want that one. And then after that, what's your fear for this year?
Oh, yeah. Man. So the favorite fear is so hard for me, but I will say the most terrifying, like
Mhm.
legit terrifying for so many reasons, was the bodybuilding competition that I did. I think I was 42. So, you know, I've had two kids, I've stretch marks and like all the things. And and I've always had a kind of a comparison to other women thing. So that
Mhm.
already on top of it is its own thing. So I'm standing on this stage in like a sequins bikini and high heels next to 20-year-olds and like not so the fear of being judged, right? Somebody criticizes you, oh, look at that's not quite right, whatever, that's all there. But then the fact that there are like five men actually judging you with their little pads and giving
Yeah.
like that's my worst fear. Don't, oh, she's a 10, oh, she's a 4, you know, like I just
Oh.
talk about a trigger.
Yeah.
It's triggering. And so I was like, I don't want that to be me. I know that that's an old script, the insecure tomboy kind of girl I was. I was like the girl who played football with the guy. I was one of the guys, you
Okay.
know,
Okay.
not very feminine. And then, so I would watch all my friends be super cute and feminine and get all the attention that I secretly wanted, but was too terrified. So I would cover it up with the baggy clothes and so it goes back to our youth almost every time when we have these hangups as adults. Just look back, like what were the experiences, what were the things, and in a self-love kind of way, not in a, I don't criticize young Janice. I'm like, man, that I have compassion for young
Yeah.
Janice now. And I think
Yeah.
that makes the world of difference in how we view it. So anyway, super side tangent, but the bodybuilding competition
Gosh.
was crazy. And partly when you do something that you are so scared to do and you accomplish it, that is where that confidence, like if I can do that,
Right.
What can't I freaking do, Jeremy? Huh?
Oh,
No.
that's exciting. That's exciting. No, you're right. I mean, that was a super triggering one for me. That would be crazy. Just yeah. So I mean, that's amazing. What's your fear this year? Do you always figure out like you know January 1 what you're gonna do, or like describe
No,
the process?
it's not linear like that. And to be
Okay.
honest, I've actually done more fears because you kind of build this momentum. And then, like you said, with the yes thing,
Yeah.
if an opportunity arises and the fear boils up, I'm like, yes, that's it.
The
Like
one.
that's the one. You kind of intuitively know I don't want to do that because of fear. And so
Okay. So for all of us novices who want to do this, what so is it just that listening to the fears that you have and go in the opposite direction, or like how do you go about finding the one that will break through?
I would say there's two ways. You can look at what the fear is. So I have a fear of people's judgment, or I have a fear of rejection.
Okay.
So I am going to face that fear. What's a way to face rejection? You sell something, go door to door. Like, there's
Right.
certain things that okay, I could do this, and that really is going to trigger that fear. Or what I kind of more prefer and what I've more done is what's something that I've kind of wanted to do, but fear has held me back from doing it. And
Mm,
that could be having a hard conversation. Like for me, having a hard conversation and conflict were terrifying things.
yes, me too. Yes.
Yes. And so there have been times where I intuitively know there is a person that I need to have a conversation with because I just know that, you know, that's the direction. But I'm terrified. Like, I don't want to confront, I don't want to have the conflict. So that could be one thing. I've done that in the past. I've had a very difficult conversation with my dad about some bad choices that he has made in the past that have
Yeah.
impacted me, that I had to just call him out on and say, this is how it is. And I need to express this. And so different things like that.
Yeah.
So I would say that route. What do you want to do, or instinctively, or like, I really should do that, but I'm terrified
So
to
you
do it?
use the excuse of don't have time, work, all the other things that we typically, we have the excuse just ready. It's
Yeah.
ready.
Oh, it's ready, because that fear can be a very powerful emotion. And,
Yes. Yeah, and I wonder about that. I think about this often. I read the book Anxious Generation, talking about my kids' era and how difficult it is for them to live through their life with that stupid computer in their hand and social media and all the things that they have. But I also wonder about their resilience and their how well they can overcome fear. And I think we're a little different in that we didn't grow up with the technology, so we have like this, we can put it away and it's usually not a problem for us. But like I wonder that for them, like how much more difficult this would be for a young adult to do this fear thing. And dang, I'm going to be talking to my kids about this, but you know,
it is, though, because, and I just read something, if you can go on a computer, and I guess kids are doing this, and finding, kind of a relationship on there with, I mean, I don't know if it's AI or an actual person, but just, you don't have to take them out on a date. Like, you don't have to do this scary stuff. That way you're hiding behind a screen.
yeah.
That's rough. I mean, they do have, but that's why it just has to be intentional. Like, hey, we got to do some things to step outside of our comfort zone
Yeah,
socially.
I just feel like theirs is going to be just communicate, like face to face, like have the hard conversation. Like those are going to be very difficult for a lot of them, right? Like just tell them your fear. Tell your person that you're with your biggest fear, or like I mean that it just seems like it's just more challenging for them. I'm hopeful that things change, but I'm also like, man, with more technology, it's just going to get worse. And then, yeah, you're just communicating with your robot now, and that they just please you. Like there's no like arguing. It's like, where are we headed here?
Well, and that's the thing too. Some of the best things or results in my life have been from doing hard things. So
Hmm.
if you are completely, and that's the whole growth concept, it is challenging to grow. You are going to have growing pains. That's like why it's called
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
And if people are not doing that and just hiding behind the screen, you're right, that's going to be challenging. So it's up to us, I guess, as parents, as mentors or coaches or whatever, to the younger generation to be like, hey guys, it's going to be hard, but so worth it. And here's some
Right.
ways, and encourage them.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about this with all that you're doing right now. I mean, you're speaker, author, podcaster, yoga instructor. You have a TV show. I want to hear a little bit more about that. What what excites you the most? And I know that you have the goal of like, reaching people with a lot of your messages. So, which avenue is kind of filling your bucket the most right now?
Interesting. I don't know if there's one particular one, because they all mesh a little bit, but I do love inspiring people, just encouraging people,
Yeah,
almost like a cheerleader.
sure.
I feel like it's a gift, or just something that comes naturally to me, where I love for people to really feel hopeful
Mm,
about life. And it could be that there were many years where I just felt so much anxiety. It's just so horrible, trapped in this prison of fear, that I want other people to know that there is a way out. There is hope. So I would say that's my main thing, that I keep being just pulled toward it, because there are times where I'm like, I don't want to feel the fear again of speaking, or I don't want to shake again like that one
mhm,
time,
mhm,
even though,
mhm.
I have to push through my own human
Right.
resistance of wanting to be comfortable,
Yeah.
to say, maybe this is part of the reason I'm on this planet Earth, is
Mhm,
just to use my voice and my experiences to encourage other people to like step into their own power, and
mhm,
to truly start to love themselves, to see the beautiful creation that they are,
mhm.
and and spread their gifts around. Because if not, like, we're unique. Like there's not another Jeremy Owens,
Nope.
and if you don't say your truth as you're learning and growing,
Mhm.
nobody's gonna say it for you.
Yeah, very true. I think what you said to me is like I feel like is a key to happiness in a lot of ways is finding something that you can leave behind. And legacy is a big word for me. And that's part of why I do this is that I want my kids to be proud of me in the end. I want to leave something for this industry more than just the house I remodeled, right? And so if you don't have that in your job, then I feel like you have to go find that out in the wild. Whatever your treasure talent is, then go find that. And I think it would just be so rewarding. I don't think a lot of people find it, or even really search or seek for it. I think we're just so many people are like, clock in, clock out, go do their thing. And it's just like shit, 10 years goes by and you're like, didn't do anything different. And I think that's part of the reason there's so much angst and anxiety and stress is that you don't have the outlet. What you just described is very rare for someone to say, like, I want to encourage. So I feel like you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do right now. And that's a rare thing to hear.
Well, and I feel the same about you. I know we were talking offline a little bit about the construction industry and
Mhm.
the mental health kind of crisis around that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, remind me what that was again that you had told me.
Yeah. So construction's been number two in suicide deaths as an industry behind, they have fishing and agriculture is number one. it's been that way for decades, and we've kind of swept it under the rug and not made it common knowledge. I have no idea why. I think it's just part of the reason we're there in the first place is that we don't want to talk about it. And so that has been the problem. And now we're talking about it as an industry, and it's common knowledge. And now it's like realizing that this isn't a quick fix. This isn't something you just do this. It just starts with conversations, and it takes a long time. And we have business owners that don't have that skill. And so it's like, it's just a chipping away process that unfortunately is not like an overnight success. And then you have drug addiction, and you have opioids, and you have all the other crap that has come at the industry. And you're like, wow, we have, it's going to take some time. And so it's a little daunting at times, I think.
But I feel like that's what's so cool about you doing this and shining the light. That's what it takes, is us individually going, yeah, do I want to be that person who's going to stand up and acknowledge kind of the elephant in the room and talk about things that sometimes, men aren't supposed to talk about, especially in a certain industry. So I just think like you're doing that exact same thing in your industry, and I love it. I'm here for it.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I'm in the right spot, and I know I love doing these because like I can just talk and listen, and it's usually topics I want to hear about and I want to learn more about. But also I can speak for both of us in that we're always available for someone who needs that conversation, and that's really all I want to be, is like, hey, if you need to call me or we need to jump on a call, like being available. And I think a lot of people just don't have people that are available to them for whatever reason. And just saying that out loud and saying like, literally, I'll take a call from anybody. And during COVID, I did that. I did the yes man thing, and I was like taking Zoom calls from people all over the nation, even people in Australia, just random conversations about construction, how we can help each other network. And it's just like, I can't tell you what that does. And just like meeting you, it's like going to TEDx and going to Granite City events and going to things at TEDx at Tech Week. I'm like, I don't really belong here necessarily, but it's just like you're getting out there, you're meeting people of like minds that are like doing cool things, and you're like, that's the people I need to be around.
Yes. And it's that, I know there's stats on, the people that you hang around, but it's huge. Like it makes all the difference in the world who's in our corner, who we rub shoulders with. So yeah, I think it's awesome that you're doing the mastermind and, those types of groups and networking where it's about more personal growth and self-discovery. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Janice, for being here. I mean, I think everyone who listens to this is going to want to figure out what that fear is for them this year. I think it's exciting because it brings you hope that there's more to you, and there's more for your life if you just can overcome a few things. And once you get through them, like you described over and over again, it's like a conquering moment of like, then I can do anything. Like this realization, like I've been holding myself back. Like this has all been me and not that person. Like that is a crazy realization that if people just get that and that's it would change your life.
Absolutely. Yep. It really does. And then you develop self-trust, self-love, the confidence, all the things that we're looking for, when you see it and you're like, oh, I want that. How do I get that? Walk through those fears and you develop that. That's the courage muscle.
Nice. So how do people stay in touch with you and like maybe want to work with you in the future? Where do they go for that?
Yes, I am at janiceburt.com, and I do a monthly newsletter where I give, like guided meditations or little yoga videos or poems, just, random stuff to encourage people.
Okay.
And then I have the onefearperyear.com podcast. So it's a website that has the podcast. So if you want to hear other people's stories about walking through fear, go check that out. But yeah, and again, reiterating what Jeremy said, if anybody wants to jump on a Zoom, needs some encouragement, I am here for it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Janice.
Thank you, Jeremy.
You're welcome. Thank you all for being here for another episode of In the Zone Construction Executives Live. I'm your host, Jeremy Owens. Let's go conquer some fears this year. Like Janice said, reach out if you need some support or encouragement. Looking forward to a strong 2026 and more guests